Medical. Have either one of you ever been on the financial side of arranging a funeral before?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How long ago was it?
About 3 years ago.
Were they close?
Yeah.
Again, I'm sorry to hear that. So then you know that the average funeral cost in New York State is about $14,000. What most families don't know is that insurance isn't paying for it the way they used to. They used to have to pay on a policy within 24 days. Now, they can hold on to your money for up to 60 days. Do you have any idea why they do that?
Because they're greedy.
They're definitely greedy. In fact, for every day they hold on to your policy, they make money off it. Millions and millions of dollars they end up making off it. In fact, that's why most families are stuck paying out-of-pocket costs when it comes to a funeral, planning a funeral. That's why they've come up with this. This is our Freedom of Choice funeral certificate. Nicole, when something happens to Matt, you're going to take this to the funeral director. You're going to negotiate a price for the funeral, put in the arrangements, sign as the beneficiary, and he's going to sign as the witness. You can take this to any funeral home in the United States, and they'll accept it. In fact, they love it because it's backed by big, powerful unions just like yours. So, just as long as you keep Matt's funeral under $20,000, and Nicole, you keep Matt's funeral under $20,000, there's no out-of-pocket costs whatsoever. What you'll do is pretty simple. On the back, you'll put in the amount that you guys negotiated, put in the arrangements, sign as the beneficiary, and the funeral director will be the witness. Now, $20,000 is a pretty important number. When you leave the funeral home, the director is going to either call the Texas office, our corporate headquarters in Texas, or he's going to call the corporate headquarters in Syracuse, and they're going to ask two questions. One, are you part of the program? When I leave here today, you will be. And two, they're going to ask how much money you have to work with. Now, if I were to tell them you have $20,000 to work with, how much do you think that funeral is magically going to cost?
$19,999.
Exactly. It's going to come almost right up to that $20,000 mark. It shouldn't work that way. We don't allow it to work that way. What we'll do is we'll simply cut them a check for the negotiated amount, and then we'll release the rest of the money to you, Nicole, and the kids. That's where the money belongs. That's where it should be. It kind of works like a pre-arrangement. Do either of you know anything about pre-arrangements?
No, not really.
They are awesome in concept. The problem is that they're usually stuck to one funeral home, and they're only worth the amount of money that you've paid into them. This is a blank check for $20,000 that is permanent and portable. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
All right. The next benefit I'm going to cover with you are our living benefits. This is actually why most enroll. So I'm actually done getting you killed. I'm just going to get you hurt a little bit. This is for accidental injuries. You could be go to a ER, after hours, or urgent care, or even an appointment with your regular doctor. What we're going to do is for any occurrence like that, we're going to pay you $300 for any accidental injury for any accidental injury that is attended to by a physician within 72 hours. This is unlimited, and you can use it as many times as you need to. This next section is actually pretty critical. If we live in Rochester, right? Western New York. It's icy. It's snowy outside. What happens one morning if Matt is on his way to get milk from the store? Somebody slides through a stop sign and T-bones Matt. Where's he going to end up? He's going to end up in a hospital bed, right? He's going to end up admitted to the hospital. What this benefit does is pays you $600 a day for every day that Matt's admitted into the hospital for up to 365 days per occurrence. What the per occurrence means is that if Matt is discharged from the hospital and a month later he accidentally injures himself in another way, that 365 days starts all over again. Now, if you say he's Matt's in the hospital for 10 days, you guys will receive a check for $6,000 delivered to your home. This won't be mailed out to the hospital. This won't be mailed out to the doctor. It will come to your house in your name, and you're able to use the money any way you want to. If Matt's in the hospital for 10 days, couldn't you guys use the extra $6,000? Yeah, you can. Now, let's say that accident's a little bit worse and Matt ends up in the ICU. This next benefit pays you $1,200 a day for every day you're in the intensive care unit up to 14 days. The reason why we double it is because, Nicole, if Matt's in the ICU, where are you?
Right next to him.
You're right next to him, correct. So this takes into account that you're both going to be there. And if you're both in the ICU for up to 14 days, the bills are triple, and it's all that lost income. Now, why 14 days? 14 days, two things are going to happen if you're in the ICU for 14 days. One, you're either going to be using your funeral benefits, or if you're getting better and they discharge you from the ICU after 14 days, all that does is revert to you don't lose the benefit, it just reverts back to the $600 a day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you. Now, I congratulate you for taking the steps to protect your family in the case something were to happen to either of you. Since you have enrolled today, what we're going to allow you to do is pass these benefits on to the 4 closest people to you. Family, friends. Who's the first one?
It'd be Jim.
Jim. Jim married?
Yep.
What's Jim's occupation?
He is a seamstress.
He's
Or
a seamstress.
seamster, I guess.
He's a teamster, you mean?
No. He sews dresses. He's a seamster.
Okay, he's a seamster. How many kids does
He's got,
Jim have?
what is that, 2.5 at this point?
Wow, he's got 2 and 1 on the way.
Yep.
Good for him. What's the craziest story that you can tell me about Jim?
Oh man, ooh. Probably shouldn't tell you the craziest story with
come on,
with
we're
Nicole
all adults
here. But tell you what, there's the one time where we went camping, and so he was with a tent, sharing a tent with a guy who got really drunk, and ended up taking a dump in the tent, and then blamed it on the bear.
Well, okay. Dump in tent. I'll definitely make sure I ask him about that. Is Jim your brother? Or is he just a friend?
He might as well be.
So he might as well be. Jim live in the Rochester area as well?
He's a little bit down south. He's, I don't know, what do you call the end of the Rochester area? He's like far side of Rush.
Okay, so the Lima area.
Yeah.
Okay. What's a good phone number for Jim?
Just call 911. He'll pick up.
Call 911 and he'll pick up?
Yep.
Doesn't make my job very easy there, Matt.
I'm sorry. You know what? I think I have a second number for him.
Okay.
It's 585.
Thank you.
911 9112.
Wonderful. Could you sometime today or maybe even tomorrow, could you give Jim a call and let him know the benefits that have been made available to you? Please don't tell him I sell insurance, because I'd like to talk to him. We have these great no-cost benefits that I can extend to him: the $2,000 policy, the child safe kits, the health services discount cards, stuff like that. I just want to be able to sit down and have a nice conversation with him. So if he treats me like a telemarketer, chances are I'm probably not going to call him back. But since you have taken advantage of these benefits, I'd really like to share them with him too. In fact, while I'm gathering up my stuff, would you mind giving him a quick call? Because he's probably more apt to answer your call than mine.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right.